10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Hello and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Whack Attack. Today is May 12th and we've got a really busy episode for you, so let's get started. A couple of days ago I made this poll on trading that said if I could only record one episode on a given day, would you rather I record a Rocket Fuel episode, like a news update of the Rocket Fuel community, or a Launchpad episode? And Launchpad episodes, of course, are those where I interview people about, people from the Rocket Pool community or people who are working and building on Rocket Pool. So the results were that 7 people wanted me to record a Launchpad episode, and one person wanted me to record the Rocket Fuel episode. So that when I made that post, I had this idea in mind of putting out some Launchpad episodes before the baby comes. I've got a few in the works. Of course, I recorded one with Rhett on Sunday, and that was out on Monday. So Lee was talking in trading about E-mode and Aave integrations and had some questions, and he was like, "Oh, Whack, you should make an episode where you kind of explain things that are going on for people who don't know." So I did one better than that, and I had Marc Zeller of Aave on Launchpad. You can see here Launchpad with Marc Zeller from Aave. So it happened really quickly. Like, I messaged him on Wednesday. We were recording on Thursday. Like, he was absolutely awesome, like a really, really cool guy. Talking to him was like fantastic. So the first half of the episode was just about how he got into Ethereum in 2015 and like just became obsessed and started working on stablecoin stuff really quickly, and then did some analyst jobs, and then went back into DeFi in 2019, got heavily involved in Aave, was responsible for Aave's growth across crypto and all these different integrations with Aave, and he did like an amazing job with that. And then he started Aave-chan, which is like a DAO arm of Aave, and basically like proposes integrations and like all sorts of other things. That's kind of his day-to-day now. So he explained his whole journey. And the second half of the episode is where like the really good stuff was. So we talked about Rocket Pool and like why it's so important for there to be decentralized staking options. We also talked about E-mode. He explained what it means and how you can basically multiply your yield from ETH staking like in a really great way. Of course, the more you do it, the more risky it is. It's not financial advice, all that good stuff. And then he talked about people depositing ETH into Aave and getting ETH and RPL in return to spin up a mini pool. And then the rewards that you get from the mini pool would go towards paying back your loan, basically. And like, it's just really, really cool stuff, like awesome stuff. And then he ended the episode with a little bit of alpha about, basically this right here. Today, we got a governance post from Marc talking about, he says, just published a Aave request for comment proposing the Aave DAO treasury getting exposure to staking yield by converting part of its wrapped ETH holdings to LSTs with Lido's ETH and RETH. He says a DAO can't operate in its own node directly, but thanks to synergies with LSTs, we play a small part in the ETH staking. So he's basically put a proposal forward for moving their treasury from their vaults, I guess, from in being in Aave itself into some of it into RETH, which is really, really great to see and super exciting. So that was the alpha in the episode yesterday, and the main alpha that I was super excited about is, like, I've been telling you all that it might take about a month to get E-mode, or maybe even 6 weeks. Well, Marc in the episode told us that it should be here on May 22nd, and if it's not here on May 22nd, we can all start bothering him and saying when RETH E-mode on Twitter to him to reply to everything he posts, because that's when he thinks it should be out, provided that the Aave community votes to have it included, which he thinks that they will. So it was a wonderful chat. Like, I've just given you like a really high level summary of it. It's really worth like listening and watching and getting a little bit deeper into those ideas, because Marc is a really smart guy, and I really liked the openness and the frankness with which he like talked about himself and all of these ideas that he has, which are really, really great ideas. So thank you for that, Marc, and I had a great time talking to him, and I'm sure that you all like really enjoy listening to that as well. So because of that, actually there's a bit more here as well. So there's a Aave governance thing that he also worked on about getting Aave onto getting our ETH onto Arbitrum's Aave version 3 as well. So we talked a lot about getting our ETH onto layer 2s. There's some really good information in that episode. Please go watch it. Like it was a fantastic chat, and like there's so much stuff that is super exciting in there. So yeah, that's definitely worth you going and listening to for an hour and 40 minutes. So yeah, so moving on from that self-hype, yesterday there was another small matter of Ethereum not finalizing. So the news broke yesterday late afternoon, and Fizz here was saying the beacon chain stopped finalizing about 30 minutes ago. I don't know why yet, but in general the chain is designed to be resilient against this. Transactions are continuing as usual, and finalization will kick in once the problem is resolved. So there was some issue somewhere. People didn't know what was causing it. There was a lot of panic. We basically went around 25 or 30 minutes without finalizing on Ethereum. There was lots of ideas about what might be causing it. People were thinking of what entities have enough of the stake to cause issues in this way. Like we didn't know what it was, right? Like early ideas was this Lido? And of course it's not Lido because they have 30 different validators. No one has all of that stake in one place. Could it be Prism? Could it be Lighthouse, both over 33%? Could it be Geth, which is super majority as well? Could it be MEV relays, which was a really good idea that came out from Invis? We weren't really sure what was happening. Although, the beacon chain kind of fixed itself and it started testing again not long later. But a whole bunch of people missed attestations. They missed proposals, I guess. Like a whole lot of proposals were missed. That's why we were not finalizing, right? So then it started finalizing again. Like I said, Invis had the idea that it was MEV related, which made sense at the time. It seems like it was a problem with Prism, and that was causing knock-on effects to other clients as well. Although I don't really want to comment too much about that. What did happen until the post-mortem comes out, right? And I'll cover that on Rocket Fuel. I don't want to be speculating too much, but that's what the talk is seeming to be, that it was an issue with Prism. Of course, for those of you who've been around Ethereum for a while, you'll know that SuperFizz was a huge champion of client diversity and pushing other chains other than Prism when it had a super majority, and it really could have crippled Ethereum and really caused a fork in the code and in the chain, and some really bad stuff could have happened if that yesterday's problem had happened while Prism was still in the supermajority. So people started kind of joking with Fizz, saying, "Hey Fizz, thanks for saving the bacon chain, sincerely everyone." So what happened is there was this screenshot. Oh wait, sorry, that's not the right one. I'm sorry. There was a screenshot for someone talking in hold on a second. No, what's going on? Sorry, I think I lost my link. Oh, wait, I had it there. Okay, it's gone. Well, basically, someone on Reddit said that because this was an issue with Prism, we can thank Fizz for saving the beacon chain because of his effort of getting Prism to not be a supermajority client. So people kind of started teasing Fizz about this and joking with him. Here is Joe said, "Thanks for saving the bacon chain," and people, and Fizz then shared a screenshot of text with his wife talking about saving the beacon chain, and Fizz was really proud of himself and sharing that screenshot. You can say that Fizz saved the beacon chain, and he's super happy with that top hat meme or gif, and then his wife just replies with a thumbs up, and he says, "Oh, that's all you've got?" And she blows a kiss at him, and he says, "How about good job saving the bacon chain, honey?" And she says, "Good job saving the bacon chain, honey." And he says, "Wait, bacon chain?" So it was really funny. And people were just really kind of joking and laughing around with that. And of course, it's a serious matter. And then people kind of got serious about it. The joking kind of turned into seriousness, and people were saying, "Congrats on saving the beacon chain, Fizz. You did an amazing job for pushing for client diversity while few others cared." And people kind of just kind of supported that idea. And were kind of like sincere about it, right? Like many blessings for your family, and like thank you for saving Ethereum today. But like it was kind of a little bit of both, a little bit of joking, a little bit of seriousness, a bit of sincerity. But of course, we love Superfizz in Rocket Pool community, and like he's part of our community and just such a great member of our community. And then of course, as all events go, RPL Grime here made a POAP for this finality challenge, the May 2023 finality challenge, and how we had issues with finality. And let's have a look at the POAP, because I already bought mine. The money from that goes to the smoothing pool, by the way. So let's have a look. It says that time between epochs 200,551 and 200,554 that the ETH blockchain struggled to reach finality and the blockchain almost imploded. No big deal by RPL Grime. So Ethereum passed that challenge with flying colors. So that was really awesome. Okay, next, Joe was hinting a few days ago about the secret project that he's working on, and people were kind of curious about what it is and what it might be, and thinking about what it might be. And Joe was saying, I'm going to be heads down for a while, hold all my calls, I'm going to be working on this. So people were starting to get curious about what it means. Like, can you give us a general area? I think people were, someone might have even guessed what it was. I think it was Sneaky, I might be wrong, who guessed what it was. But like a little while later, Joe released this post saying, ta-da, now to spam it everywhere. So there's a forum post, and let's have a quick look at it. Here it says a candidate design for modernized penalty system. So basically, we had an issue this week, last week, with a solo staker migrator not setting their fee recipient properly. So I think that just brought some of these MEV issues maybe to the front of mind. But anyway, Joe says, we just pushed up a design for a revised penalty system to the research repository. The penalty system is in the portion of the Oracle DAO duties that detects MEV theft from people that have an invalid fee recipient and penalizes them to make sure that our ETH users and smoothing pool operators are whole. Today it's been designed and implemented, but hasn't been enabled yet because we've never been in love with the spec around it. The new system proposal simplifies a lot of things and makes it hopefully more effective and more transparent than the current system is. I'd like to start a discussion with everyone around it because it comprises a significant change in the fundamental portion of the protocol itself. It will require contract changes to Rocket Pool. It's in everyone's best interest if we know the Rocket Pool community believes that this change should be included in the next update, although admittedly it's small enough from an implementation perspective that it could probably be its own update so we can deploy it faster. So he says, I won't replicate the contents of like the full Git here, but here's a TLDR. He says the ODAO performs the cheating check as usual to detect if theft occurred on the slot. I'd like to make the rules for this as transparent spec with third-party implementations, analogous to the rewards tree spec and treegen. When cheating is detected, the ODAO reports the theft and the amount stolen to the contracts. The contracts use the network's RPL ETH price to immediately remove 110% of the stolen amount in equivalent RPL from the offending node's staked RPL. The contracts make this up for sale to anyone at a 5% discount of the fair market price, incentivizing arbitrage bots to buy it. Upon purchasing, the contracts send the correct amount of ETH to the RETH contract for burns and to the smoothing pool if applicable. There may be more details, a fun picture made using PowerPoint, don't judge me, in the full proposal. So please read that first, then come back here and start a discussion around it. So then there's a GitHub link to the full proposal with all the details in there that you can go and read, and you can see that. There have already been a bunch of comments here. So Astanita says, why only 110%? I believe more would be safer and only fair. 110% sold at 5% discount leaves 4.5% that will be sent where. And then A35U says, incentive for an RBOB to quickly make the conversion and assume account for price action. Then Joe says, he says the extra would be sent to the RETH contract and the smoothing pool. And then Joe says, sure, though the network price is updated every 19.2 hours, it has a 12-hour TWAP on it. So it inherently has some shielding against sudden swings. And then Epinaf says, this is amazing as is, but my uninformed thoughts. Consider a reasonable hard cap on total penalties per reward period, 100 ETH, 1000 ETH, 10,000 ETH or whatever, this would drastically reduce the risk from a rogue ODAO mass penalizing with zero effect on any realistic penalty scenarios. Consider a minimum penalty like 0.05 ETH to ensure gas is covered for small thefts. I'm not sure how I feel about allowing smoothing pool entrants to opt out of MEV boost. Torn, but if you are morally opposed to MEV boost, it's kind of weird to be directly benefiting from other people using it. And Valdorf then put forward a more detailed post saying, first, thanks for getting us concrete starting point. Penalties badly needed work, and this hits most of my concerns. However, I do have two issues, and one is allowing locally built blocks, and then two is relying only on RPL. So this is a much more detailed post from Valdorf here. So definitely give that a read. A discussion, of course, started in trading as well, where Noshua and a bunch of others started talking about it. So one of the main things that he had is why is no MEV boost okay with the new system? Because that was a big push that we had a few months ago, where we wanted everyone in the smoothing pool at least to be using MEV boost, and we wanted Rocket Pool protocol as a whole to be using MEV boost because it makes such a big difference to the APR and makes Rocket Pool competitive on an APR scale that we probably wouldn't be if we weren't using MEV boost. So there are some questions here. The community is still talking it out. I know that people are still thinking about their response to Joe's post here, and it might take a few days to get more and detailed responses coming through. I really hope that we do engage with this, especially the gigabrains in the community, really poke holes at this, make suggestions and alterations, and really probe these ideas, because it seems this is a really important topic that we all should be paying attention to. Okay, and then this is just a little bit more of that, but that's okay. So then post Shanghai, what really happened? So here we have an article from Glassnode Insights, who kind of did a research paper on the aftermath of staking on Ethereum after Shanghai and the withdrawals were enabled. There's some really good coverage here for Rocket Pool, talking about how we've able to gain on market share, and how it's been really bullish for Rocket Pool. And give the whole article a read, because it's really, really interesting. But I think there's some really good information in here. But Rocket Pool, of course, has been a major beneficiary of Shanghai and Atlas, of course, and those two things together have really helped us grow in our market share already. But this this really nice report here that you can go and have a read at. Let's have a look at some of the statistics now. So smoothing pool had its best month ever. It hit over 500 ETH, which was truly amazing. I'm not sure what the final number was. If someone can get that information for me, I think it was 505 ETH or something along those lines, which is a huge increase from on previous smoothing pools. So that was fantastic to see. And then we of course got 200,000 mini pools launched on Rocket Pool. Sorry, not 200,000 mini pools, one day soon, hopefully. But 20,000 mini pools were set up and running on Rocket Pool, which was really amazing to see as well. And of course, with all that increase, here Jasper shared this really great screenshot of I think DeFi Llama, but I'm not 100% sure. It has a total value locked by DeFi projects. I think it's DeFi Llama. So as you can see, every project here in the top 27 lost TVL over the last 1 month, except Rocket Pool that went up by 6%. So Rocket Pool is the only DeFi project here who has had really good gains over the last month compared to every other project out there. So that was really amazing to see that Rocket Pool is going from strength to strength, even though the market is kind of hesitant. Hopefully, we go through another bullish few weeks and we can really move up those rankings. We're number 10 now, and I think Compound and maybe a couple of the others above us are there for the taking if we have a few good weeks and months. Of course, Aave's E-mode, ledger integration, some treasuries moving to Rocket Pool will all really boost those amounts, and I'm really, really excited about that. Okay, next we had this amazing mega deposit into the deposit pool today. So this user transferred 5,080 ETH into the deposit pool. Of course, the deposit pool can eat that amount and much more as well, which is amazing. Let's have a quick look at Rocket Scan's stats here. So if you have a look, that 5,080 ETH came just a little while ago, but we've had a whole lot of like 100 ETH, 100 ETH, 100 ETH, 700 ETH, 200 ETH, like beautiful deposits just kind of like flowing in. So today has been a really, really good day. We are already at 8,300, which is on track for right now. It's the third biggest day ever, and it's on track for being the second biggest day ever, which was here 8,500, and the biggest day ever, of course, being April 18th, where we had 9,577. Oh no, I'm sorry, April 5th was 13,000. Yeah, we're not going to beat that out today unless we get another mega deposit. But what's really, really wonderful to see is that every day we're getting more than 1,000 ETH coming to the smoothing pool. That weekly. This week we've already had 19,000, which the week is not up yet. We've been averaging 2,000 ETH a day. Last week we were averaging just under 2,000 ETH a day. The week before that we were averaging just over 2,000. No, I'm sorry. Wait. Right now we are averaging nearly 4,000 ETH a day. Last week we averaged over 3,000 ETH a day. The week before that we averaged over 4,000 ETH a day, and the week before that we averaged just over 2,000 ETH a day. So the queue is moving. It feels like there's a long wait, but the queue is moving, and that is really great to see. So yeah, the stats are looking really good. So Wednesday night, Thursday morning was the new rewards period started. So of course, every month we have the trees that need to be generated. Patches, of course, was super fast again. Even broke his own record. So he had the hash here of like his tree generation, and it was like super duper fast. He says he's going to generate it again just for fun. And yeah, Ken has a Nook 8 that he's running the ODAO node on, and Patches has a Nook 11, so it's a little bit faster. But even with that, the speed at which Patches got the work done was like super duper fast. And Fizz was like, I'm behind, and there was like nice friendly rivalry, I think, and Patches of course is like way ahead of everyone else at the moment. So I'm wondering if anyone would want to step up to Patches like in the next couple of months and see if they can beat his tree generation. That would be really cool to see. So here was the reward snapshot, of course, like on the ODAO events. So we had yeah, here it is. Like, so the first one was Rocket Scientist, of course. So Ken's machine, like, came in a good 15-20 minutes after Patches had finished, and after that it was Fizz, who came in like 15 minutes after that, or 20 minutes after that, and then Anthony Sassano, Rocket Pool 3, Lighthouse, Rocket Pool 1, Bankless, and then Nimbus and Gitcoin. And then the rewards were published. So what I really like here is that we saw a few people that I don't think we've seen recently, like Nimbus, Gitcoin, of course. I think it was their first time. So there was some really nice tree generations, and it all happened in under 2 hours, in about 2 hours. So that's decent. It could be better. So we need to get Patches' code running on all of these machines, maybe, and Joe will shout at me for saying that, but yeah, Joe's optimizations of course are doing really well as well. So maybe once those go out to everyone, I don't know how the process of that is, but if they go out to everyone, that would be really cool. Okay, and then of course it's rewards night, so we have the game where you make your predictions. So here we had Steaker got 5.25 score, guessing that Rocket Scientist, Fizz, and Anthony Sassano will be first. Then he thought Coinbase Ventures might be doing well, but it was actually Rocket Pool. Then some of those they did really well with that, so they got 5.25, and they won the raffle. So they did really well with that. Well, with the guessing game, sorry, not the raffle. So they did really well with that. So congratulations on your prize. I'm not sure if this is a prize. Okay, anyway, next we have this vacant mini pool scrubbed information came up. So there was a solo staker who had migrated to Rocket Pool. They spent too long to set up their withdrawal credentials and get all their information done properly, so they got booted off the network. This is only the second scrub that has happened. I didn't see much discussion around this particular scrub, so I guess yeah. Oh, sorry. So there were a bunch of people here who noticed it. The first was Lighthouse, and then Anthony Sassano, and then Fizz, and then Rocket Pool Rocket Scientists, Rocket Pool, Coinbase Ventures, Rocket Pool. They all saw it, and then it got scrubbed. So that is now the second scrub that we've had, but I think it was because of the solo staker migrator not finishing the process, which is why they got scrubbed and kicked out. And I'm not sure exactly what the process is, if they can just carry on from where they were, but I think that's what can happen. Okay, next we have this great post from another Zeller. It says, folks just submitted the draft to GnosisDAO to begin phase 2 on the Gnosis improvement proposal to move their 65,000 ST ETH to our ETH. It's still in the draft, so please let me know. So here there is a link to the post. Oh, I already had that open, so that's fine. Okay, so it says, should the GnosisDAO commit to additional RETH uses in treasury operations? Here we have 37 votes, 36 of them are in favor, one of them is against, and then there's information here about that, about what the benefits are and why you should do that, and why we should move to RETH instead of wrapped ETH, and then just like gives information about all that is happening, what the risks are of staying with Lido and all that kind of stuff. And here we had a reply from Dr. Deucer saying that I should add there are a lot of Gnosis token holders, Gnosis builders, validators, etc. from Rocket Pool who are joining to vote. I'm a Gnosis builder, Gnosis token holder, and Rocket Pool node operator, and I think this is a great way for Gnosis to show support for decentralization while gaining security and value for the treasury. Now that Zeller has shown us the way, I'm reminded to come here more often and exercise my Gnosis vote. So you don't need to own any Gnosis token to vote on this. You can just make an account and vote. It takes a couple of minutes, so go and give that a vote, and hopefully we can persuade their community to stake with Rocket Pool instead of with Gnosis. Okay, next we had this comment from Lee, who said, hey Joe, do you know if there'll be any new Smartnode versions this month? If so, I'll just wait instead of manually updating Nimbus and Bisu. I'm just curious. So then Joe says, my guess is that there'll be an update next week. I have a whole lot of stuff and I have to decide what gets added. I said, will there be any new MEV relays? And Joe says that if you want any MEV relays, you need to ask the MEV relay teams to reach out to Langers and talk to him about getting it included, because I guess there's a process. So it's not just a matter of Rocket Pool arbitrarily including MEV relays. I'm not sure what the list of included MEV relays is right now. If anyone has that information handy, please share that with me so I can put it in the episode on Monday. But that is good to see that that is happening. There have been a few updates recently that it's just easier for people to update using the Smartnode stack, of course, so they're waiting for that. There's Joe gave some information about what's going to be coming in the update. So he says there's going to be some new commands in there. So the new command, Rocket Pool mini pool rescue dissolved, allows you to rescue a dissolved mini pool by depositing enough ETH to complete its bond. Activating it on the beacon chain, you will have to exit it from the beacon chain, Rocket Pool mini pool exit, and close it, Rocket Pool mini pool close, to access your locked capital. And then there's another command here as well that Joe shared that will be in the next Smartnode stack. I'm sorry, I think it's because I've got too many tabs open, which is why my browser is not happy about this. Let me try refreshing the page. This is now waiting for Discord. Oh, there we go. And then there's another new command here, says Rocket Pool node add address to stake RPL whitelist. So this can be used to allow an address to stake RPL on your behalf. Oh, now it refreshes. So yeah, and then there was other commands as well. So definitely check the notes for when you update to the next version, because you will be able to make use of these commands. And there's another new command here as well saying Rocket Pool node remove address from stake RPL whitelist. So that can be used to revoke your access to an address from from staking RPL on behalf of your node. So this, of course, is a nice way to fix the griefing issue that had happened a few months ago, 3.5 months ago now, and you'll be able to use stake on behalf again in a safe way, which is really good to see, because I used that myself before. So yeah. Okay, next we have a couple of protocols that are doing like interesting things. So of course we had an official tweet thread going out about Gravita. I know that I've covered Gravita a lot, so I'm not going to really cover it too much again, but they're putting out more and more stuff and kind of fleshing out what the protocol will look like on launch day. And then Flash here, who I've also talked about a few times, are saying, are you a content creator? Are you an elite Twitter threader? Are you a master meme generator? Or do you just want to earn some Flash tokens? For the next month, 200,000 Flash tokens are up for grabs to those who spread the word of the Rocket Pool Time Vault. And here's what you need to do. So then there's a tweet thread about how you can basically promote Flash and good quality like promotional material will be eligible for receiving prizes. And it says Flash stake is instant, we've talked about upfront yield. So here, this first to third prize is 3 R Flash each, and then 4th to 14th prize are 1 R Flash each, and R Flash are worth a minimum of 1,000 Flash and up to 10,000 Flash each. I'm not sure exactly how the tokenomics of that works, but you can earn by producing content, and the more content you produce, the more chances you have of winning. And then there's a grading criteria, and each piece will be graded on 1 to 5 based on 3 criteria. So engagement, how many people saw or interacted with the content; creative, how unique was the content; quality, how much effort was put into creating the content as well. And then there's a note about that saying that if your average score is less than 2, you will not be eligible for a reward, and the higher your score, then the higher the prize you're eligible for. And then they said we're happy with video walkthroughs or educational stuff, graphics, memes, or Twitter threads with analysis or information. And then just more of that information. And then there's a point saying that those who did it earlier will be that will weigh more heavily. He says, although the deadline is June 18th, we highly suggest submitting content as soon as possible. They want to have 5,000 RETH submitted, and that's what it is. And it says the earlier you get your content in, the higher the chance you have of winning R Flash. So if you are interested in competing for that, definitely go and do that. I said I've been talking about it on Rocket Fuel a lot, but I don't meet their criteria for how you're supposed to submit materials. It says post your content on Twitter, tag Flashstake and Rocket Pool, and use hashtag rflash. So I haven't been doing any of that, but I have been talking about it quite a lot. So maybe they'll be kind and consider me anyway. Okay, next we have something that's away from Rocket Pool, but it's kind of interesting about the SEC. So the US Chamber of Commerce, which is another group of the US government, has just filed a brief in the Coinbase versus SEC case. They are suing the SEC, and the Chamber of Commerce has actually written a brief in favor of Coinbase, saying that the SEC is acting unlawfully in the digital asset space. And then, Meta Lawman here goes on to explain why this is a big deal, and how, the US Chamber of Commerce is a highly influential organization, and how it has 3 main arguments: that regulatory uncertainty is killing innovation in the US, that SEC is destabilizing the digital assets regulatory environment, and that the SEC is violating constitutional due process and fair notice rights. So then there's screenshots of all that information. It seems like, the Chamber of Commerce thinks that crypto will help the commerce area grow, and the SEC is restricting that. So there's some tensions between governmental departments there. Okay, next we have a couple of bets that have happened. Hodger here made a bet saying that the next smoothing period reward, sum will be over 700 ETH. We just hit a record of 500 ETH in the smoothing pool this month. So he says over the next four weeks there'll be more than 700 ETH in there. Does anyone want to take a bet? 1 RPL each side. And Trevor here said that I will bet you that it'll be less than 700 ETH. I agree with Trevor here. I think it will be less than 700 ETH. It seems like the mania for the gas costs are slowing down a little bit on mainnet. That will reduce fees. 500 was a huge amount, and this bet went through, so they both had the deal handshake. So now that that's been covered on Rocket Fuel, it's totally official. We'll see in 26 days time whether or not that is going to go Trevor's way or Hodge's way. And then we have another bet as well here from Romana about gas staying high. And Romana said gas staying high forever. There's a bet that he made here in trading, and he said that okay, my next bet, 1 RPL, that no slot in May 2023 has a base fee less than 30 GUE. So then we got Invis. Seriously, like, oh, so annoying. Let me see whether I lost the link. So Invis took the bet and basically said that he's taking the bet because he wants Romana to stop talking about bets. So I think Romana might lose this bet. Of course, that's just my speculation. It seems like the gas has peaked. Hopefully, right now it's 60 GUE, whereas yesterday at this time, well, 69 GUE, nice. Yesterday at this time it was like 150 plus GUE. So that is looking like it's coming downwards. You know, they're getting lower and lower. So hey, that's a nice bet if you if Invis is going to make some money there. So good job for Invis. So thank you everyone for watching and following along with Rocket Fuel. I'll have a good weekend and I'll see you all on Monday. Bye.